Very good morning to all of you. Myself, Professor Navigat Khandeza from Maulana Mukhtar Ahmadi Technical Campus, Goa, Malegaon. Might be my sound is clear. Please reply in the chat box or you can unmute and tell me. My voice is coming to you, I think so. Ghulam Hussain Punjabi. Hello. So in previous class in lecture number 5, we have seen uh, the requirement for section and properties as per the IS 800 2007 and the steel table IS 800 808 1989 and the SP 61. So we have seen different class of sections and how they are classified. We have seen in this moment curvature relationship. There are different classifications. Then we have gone through the what is class 1, class 2 compact and class 3 semi-compact. Class 4 is the cylinder where the cross section in which the elements buckle locally even before reaching the yield stress. The width thickness ratio of plate elements shall be greater than that is specified under the class 3 semi-compact limit in table number 2 of IS 800 2007. In such cases, the effective section or design shall be calculated either by following the provision of IS 801 to account for the post-local buckling strength or by deducting the width of the compression plate element in excess of the semi-compact limits. When we are bringing the cylinder section into the uh, we are bringing the cylinder section into the semi-compact limit like this. Okay, and when different elements of cross section fall under different classes, then the section shall be classified as governed by the most critical element, either in the web or on the flange, which one is the critical that is to be considered. If the section is plastic and one part of section is plastic and one part is compact, then we consider the section as a compact. If one part is compact and another is semi-compact, then we consider the section as a semi-compact. That is written here. Then we have seen the sectional how the section classification is done based on the width to thickness ratio of the element. And here epsilon is nothing but 250 upon Fy. You can see here it will be 1 250 upon Fy. Okay, and then also we have seen the tables of IS 800 2007. Just now morning I have also shared with all your WhatsApp group. You can see it as different based on the different width to thickness ratio. The section is classified class. This limiting value is given, and based on this limiting value, you can classify the section, sectional element. What is the flange and what is the bed? If if I section or H section is there. Okay, and if channel section is there, then also the flanges anywhere. And if angle section is there, there is two legs. One is B and another is F D. So based on that, you can classify the sections. So up to this, we have finished yesterday. Now we will take one example uh, of the section classification, so you can able to know how the classification of section can be done. Okay. So whatever told yesterday have is more elaborated again, and now we will going for how to classify the solve the example and how to. So these figures are very important because what you are taking the B and what you are taking the T, thickness of line TA, thickness of web TW, etc. this this page figure is also available on your IS 800 2007 on page number 19 if you will go on page number 19. 19 you can say here is on page number 19 these figures are given what is the B you have taken on the I section, and when we are going for the channel section what B you have taken, what is the high, what is the D, and what is the H value for all section, what is the capital D, what is small d, and what is the D, and what is all these detailings are given in page number 19, dimension of the section, on page number 19 of IS 800 table. Okay, so this table is required when you are going to classify the section. It's table number 2 of limiting width to thickness ratio. This table is very important when you are going for design because every design needs to be a section classification, and we need to we need to come to know about the type of section which is in uh, design of your any of the your member. Mostly the tension member and the your bending members we need to be uh, identified like this. Okay. So just we will solve one example, then you will able to understand how to find the section type. That is class 1 plastic or class 2 semi-compact or a compact. Class 3 is your semi-compact and class 4 is cylinder. So section classification is the important point to be considered. These points are very important. You can remember these points. First one, a table of classification shows three distinct varieties of cross section, such as plastic, compact, and semi-compact section. As we have seen in the table, it is uh, class 1 plastic, class 2 compact, class 3 semi-compact. Okay. Similarly, section unit width thickness ratio exceeds the limits of semi-compact section is known as cylinder sections, and these sections are to be avoided. So in design of your steel structure, generally we are avoiding the cylinder section. Why we are avoiding the cylinder section? Because the cylinder section fails too earlier before the fielding of this. Okay, so that's why the cylinder sections are always they are not. If section is cylinder, if a cylinder section if at all used, you are using it, then need to ignore the excess area arrive at the effective cross section area. तो इफेक्टिव क्रॉस सेक्शन एरिया सेमी कॉम्पैक्ट के लिमिट के लिए हमको निकालना पड़ेगा, और फिर उसके हिसाब से हम उसको डिजाइन करेंगे, और जो एक्सेस एरिया है अदर देन सेमी कॉम्पैक्ट लिमिट यानी सिलेंडर आपका हो जाएगा, तो वो एरिया हम कैलकुलेशन में डिजाइन में इनकॉर्पोरेट नहीं करेंगे. व्हाट इज इट said here, the cylinder section if at all used needs to ignore excess area to arrive at effective cross section area as सेमी कॉम्पैक्ट लिमिट. तो अगर जब भी आपका सेक्शन आपको सेक्शन यूज करना है, लेकिन सेक्शन आपका जो है सेमी सिलेंडर है और उसको यूज करना है, तो एट लीस्ट यू टू ब्रिंग इट द सेमी कॉम्पैक्ट लिमिट बाय कटिंग द फ्लैंजेस और वेब, or otherwise you will just only consider the effective cross section area for the semi compact limit. If you will do that, then that is okay, no issue. So you can use cylinder section, but the area you should consider that will be not more than semi compact limit, that is within the semi compact limit. Okay. So if two elements of cross section fall under two different classification, ये पहले भी हम लोगों ने देखा कि अगर दो सेक्शन है, सेक्शन के जो एलिमेंट हैं, एलिमेंट क्या रहते हैं हमारे, अगर आई सेक्शन है तो फ्लैंज है ना, अगर आई सेक्शन है तो उसका फ्लैंज है और वेब है, हम लोग फ्लैंज बोलते हैं, और वी कॉल्ड वेब। ओके, तो ये दोनों में अगर एक जो है प्लास्टिक आया, समझ लो वेब आपका प्लास्टिक आ गया, it is plastic, and flange is compact. तो सेक्शन क्या कहलाएगा, सेक्शन विल बी द कॉम्पैक्ट वन वी विल कंसिडर। तो if two elements of cross section fall under two different classification, then section is classified into most unfavorable classification and unfavorable classification in between the two elements, in between the two elements. Okay. Now we will solve one example here, and we can able to come to know that how the section classification is done. Now here the section classic example is given that classify the section ISHB 400 about 77.4 kg per meter. So this section is given. So first, when you start the solution, you have to write down the sectional properties or sectional dimension. Now, sectional dimension are needed for section classification. And this section dimension, where we will get? We will get the sectional dimension in your steel table. In your steel table. So when you come to the this so you can open your steel table or IS 808. So which type of section you have told? The section you have told is IS SB 400 77.4 kg per meter. It is denoted by the weight because same sectional size depth may be varying thickness of the flange and web, and that's why the weight is also varying. So that's why it is classified based on the weight also. So here ISHB is given, yani IS section. So we will come first to the IS section. This is the IS section. Then we search the ISHB 400, where is these are the JB, now JB, LB, WB. Here we came here the ISHB. तो कौन सा ISHB बोला, ISHB 477.4, this one is stored. So here you can see the depth of the section is 400, width of flange 250, thickness of wave is 9.1, and thickness of flange is 12.7. So we'll check this. You are written properly. Depth is 400. Okay, BF it is given to 450, and TW is 9.1 as it is given in, here, and then thickness of flange is also given, that is 12.7 mm, and R1 is 14 mm. You can see here R1. You can come here. Point R1. So R1 value is the 14. Okay, for ISHB 477. Okay, so likewise you have to take the sectional dimension and sectional properties from the steel table or from the IS 808 and 1989. Okay, so we have taken this. Now we will see first the flange plate element. Flange plate element. I section generally, it is like this. Okay, this is your I section. So these two portions are the flange elements. These are the flanges. This flange, the body is also called the flange, and this one is the web. So cross section dimension, you can see the thickness of flange, width of flange is given here. That is 250. And overall thickness, depth of the section is given 400. Again, thickness of wave is given, it is 9.1 mm, and thickness of flange it is given 12.7 mm. Okay, all these values are given. So just first we will take the flange plate. The flange plate. The width of flange plate in I section, what we have to take? You can see the figure first. ना, हम फिगर जब देखेंगे, फिगर में अगर अब हम आते हैं तो देखो आई सेक्शन, roll list is I section. So what is the B? The value of B is nothing but capital B by 2, or you can say BF by. So what is the value of BF in our case? It is 250. 250 divided by 2. So B value for I section for ISHB 400 is 125. So here you can see I have written here the value of B. Value of B is nothing but BF by 2 in case of, right? And 250 upon 2 is nothing but 125, and this is B. The thickness of flange directly you can take, then this, when you divide, then your value will be 9.84. Now we'll see it compare with the your IS code. If you come to the IS code, the roll list section is there, and you can see the uh, BF by B by TF value is 9.4 epsilon class 1 plastic. अब यहाँ पर हमारी वैल्यू क्या आ रही है? अवर वैल्यू इज 9.84. वहाँ पर कितनी दिया है हमारे एस कोड में? 9.4 दिया. तो दिस एक्सीड 9.4. 9.4 से ज़्यादा है, लेकिन 10.5 एप्सिलॉन से कम है. तो यहाँ पर एप्सिलॉन क्या है? एप्सिलॉन मैंने पहले भी बताया, एप्सिलॉन इज नथिंग बट दिस इज 250 अपॉन y. यहाँ पर एप्सिलॉन आप देखेंगे, दिस एप्सिलॉन इट इज गिवन here under root of epsilon is under root of 250. The root to the power of 1 by 2, it means that it is under root. Okay. So here the value of your BF B will be calculated likewise. You see the figures, you have to check there, and then you can find out this. And then that will be compared with. Now, after the comparing, what we will get? The value of this 9.48 is uh, greater than 9.4 epsilon, but it is less than 10.5 epsilon. That's why it is in class 2 compact. Okay, so our flange element of the I section is class 2 compact. Now we will come to the second element. Second element is the web plate of I section. I section, this flange is already over. Now web plate. Now web plate here is given small d by tw ratio. है ना? Capital D नहीं दिया. So when you small d, when capital D is given, you know don't know the small d. So small d you can calculate. So capital D minus 2 into R1 minus 2 into PM. When you do, then you will get the value of small d. Anyway, okay. So small d is 346.6. Also, the value of small d is given here. I think so. So it is not given here. You can able to find out. Okay. So you can find out in some steel table it is given. You can directly use. So here you can see d by tw ratio. Because in I section, what is the value of d? You can see here. Value of d is here. है ना? So depth of flange minus R1. Depth of flange minus R1. तो ये थिकनेस ऑफ फ्लैंज माइनस R1. तो स्मॉल d क्या हो जाएगा आपका? स्मॉल d इज इक्वल टू कैपिटल D माइनस 2 टाइम्स ऑफ R1 minus 2 times of TF. So that after minusing you will get the value. So that's why here I am not taken the D capital. You have to take that, and you have to, then the value is coming 38.0. Now this we have to check with the our again skill level. So I will come to the your IS code. So if you will see the wave of channel, no, it is not channel. The wave of I section, here it is given, wave of I section And if it is in axial compression, if neutral axis at the depth, there is different criteria. You can so neutral axis at the mid depth, because I section is symmetrical, then neutral axis at the mid depth. So D by TW ratio for plastic section is 84 epsilon. So here we can see this available value 38.08 is less than 84 epsilon, then it is coming under the class of 1 plastic. So 84 epsilon you can see here, 84 epsilon, it is coming under the class 1 plastic. That's why our web element is the class 1. अब यहाँ पर देखिए कि एक जो है एक कॉम्पैक्ट क्लास है, दूसरा है प्लास्टिक क्लास. तो हमारा सेक्शन क्या हो गया? Therefore, the said section will be most unfavorable section in class 2 compact. Okay, so likewise you have to solve and you have to write down. Okay, similarly the another examples are there for the ISA 800 by 6. Okay, so properties of ISA 100 by 6 is given. B is 100, D is 100 and T is 600. तो अगर यहाँ पर देखेंगे तो बी बाई टी 100 16.5 15.7 से ज़्यादा है. So that is again class 4 cylinder. Both elements they are coming the cylinder, and B plus D by T is also greater than 25 point. Here it is, when you are adding it is 25, 25.7 epsilon. That is class 4. So here, because it is cylinder, then we have to bring at least the section in the semi-complex. So how we can bring the section in the semi-complex? There was a said section in the cylinder section, hence we need to bring the section at least to a semi-compact limit by restricting the plate element length or breadth is equal to B is equal to D is equal to 15.7 into 6. This 15.7 into thickness से आप multiply करेंगे, so your plate element should not be greater than 19.2 mm. Then it means that this is your angle section. This is your angle section. Okay, so it is already it is given 100 mm. This is 100. Okay, this leg is also 100 because both legs are equal as given in the example. But what here, the section, if you are taking the 100 mm legs, then your section is cylinder. So to bring it into the semi-compact limit, I will cut this section, this part, and only we will consider the effective area of this only, this length only, and this breadth only. Okay. And how this length or breadth you can calculate? The limiting value when you multiply with the thickness is 6, so it will come around 94.2 mm. तो हम जो हमारे डिजाइन कैलकुलेशन में इफेक्टिव एरिया जो कंसीडर करेंगे दैट विल कंसीडर 94.2 mm length by thickness. Okay, so how you have to bring the section into the semi-compact limit, that also you learn here. So you can solve example your own, and these are the some questions. Define the limit state and state different types of limit states. You can take the screenshot and then you can solve at your own at the home. They explain the partial safety factors and characteristics load, limit state design, and then draw the stress diagram for plastic complex, semi-complex, and cylinder section. Also classify the ISLB about 37.7 kg per meter and ISMC 449.4 kg per meter. These two section classification you have to do your own in assignment journal pages. Okay, so assignment should be completed on the journal pages. Okay, so this is what all about your lecture number 5 is completed. I will come to the lecture number 6. Lecture number 6. Before going for design of the tension member, you need to know about the connections, because connections are very important in every member design. You need to knew about the connection, and connection design is a part of each and every week. Okay, so this uh, your course and this lecture outcome of lecture number 6 is the uh, requirement of section properties IS 4019 as part 1 and 6. If this already we are covered. So objective type of connection for the steel structure here, and the lecture outcome at the end of the lecture 6, student will be able to understand types of connection and terminology used for the voltage connection. So we will come to the connections in strict structure, because to transfer the forces from one member to another, we need the connection, and it is only possible through the connections. Many configurations are used to force transferring connection. The configurations depend on the type of connecting element and nature and magnitude of the forces, or nature of the magnitude of the moments, whatever it may be, available equipment for the fabrications and erection consideration. Also, the cost, economy of the section is also considered while doing the design of the connection and while transferring the forces or load from one member to another member. So beam and column, there are different connections between the beam and column. Beam to beam connection. Yesterday we have seen in the class, okay, in our class on Wednesday, column to column connection, beam and cross beam connection, column and bracket connection, truss member connection through the set plates, column and caps, purlin and rafter connection in your industrial building, rails and column and braces and the column connection, etc. These are the frame connection. You can say the connection between the two members. You can do likewise. Okay, so there are basically in a steel structure earlier used, there are four types of connections, that is uh, riveted, bolted, and pin connection. So earlier these three connections are mostly used. Okay, that is riveted connection, bolted connection, and pin connection. And then come into the vector, the welding connection. So these four connections are generally in the steel structures. It may be the welded, it may be the pin, the bolted, and riveted. Earlier, earlier it was used mostly that riveted connections uh, number one, and bolted connection number two, and pin connection it is very rarely used. Only other side of the support of your bridges maybe it is considered one part, because it is nothing but the hinge support, and then welded connections nowadays very famous. So now, nowadays only two types of connections are considered in the IS code, that is welded and bolted connection. And nowadays only these two types of connection are mostly used. And mostly the welded connection is locally, you can say, it is used. And when we need to join with the column with the base plate, we are going for the bolted connection. You are seeing the columns और the पोल बूस्ट, आप लाइव एग्जांपल अगर आप देखेंगे तो आपके ट्रांसमिशन टावर जो है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के टावर हैं, आपके टेलीफोन के टावर हैं, फिर आपके घर के आई सेक्शन के इलेक्ट्रिक पोल हैं, लाइट पोल, वो भी क्या स्टील स्ट्रक्चर है। फिर अभी आप देखेंगे जीआई के hollow circular poles are erected with two large height near our corporation also, and many in Chowpalli also you can see the Manbad Chowpalli here also the very heighted the light are installed, and they are the hollow section. So likewise, these connections are made, and these connections uh, should be decided as per the design requirement, or as per the transfer of the forces from one member to. Then the connection is still such a requirement for good connection is it is given. Just many times this question is asked what are the requirements of the good connection. So requirement of good connection it should be rigid enough to avoid fluctuating stresses which may cause fatigue failure. Fatigue failure yani the continuous cycle of load is there and it is where the fatigue is there and that's why fatigue failure may happen. It should be such that there is the least possible weakening of the part to join. If there is weakening of the part, then transfer will hamper, or maybe the failure will occur into the member due to the connections. Okay. Then it should be such that it can be easily installed, inspected, and maintained. So, because connections are required mostly limited and bolted connections, they are required mostly maintenance and inspection. Okay. Also welding where there is the water or in contact with the soil or the corrosive environment is there, then you have to inspect the welding also. So where there is connection, the inspection must be done regularly. Now we'll come to the types of connection. You can see the rivet, how the rivets are. The rivets are like this. Okay. So rivets are having two parts. The upper part you can say, sorry, the upper part you can say is the head, and the lower part is nothing much. Okay, so you can see the shank and the head, and this is nothing but your it is the nominal diameter of your uh, removal diameter of your fluid. Okay, you are making the connection, maybe the left one, maybe the bottom one. It depends on the how you are making the connection. So here you can see the straightened portion is there, but after the installation, you have to apply the hammering and then this it convert into the another head. Okay? This straight part of the bottom is converted into the another head, and then after getting these two heads, you can see this one top and bottom, and this is the shank portion. And the dotted line, you can see this dotted line is nothing but the shank. So this is nothing but the connection when we are going for the riveting connection. When you are going visiting the railway station, in most of the railway station earlier, we are riveted connection. Also, in Industrial Society of Malegaon, their truss is there. You can see that is with the flat bars, this truss is there, and there also you can see the riveted connection. Then second type is the bolted connection. Bolted connection. One this is the head, bolt head. You can see it is this one the head of the bolt. Okay, and then there is shank area. Okay, and then again this portion is the threaded area. So this is the length of threaded portion you can see from here to here. Okay, and this one is the shank area is called as the grip length or plane area is called. Okay, and if in case of the common bolt or black bolt is there, then that it is fully threaded. There is no shank area in the black bolt. The black bolt is there. If the black bolt or common bolt, it may be called as common bolt, is there, then there is no shank area. Shank area is not there. Okay, that is fully threaded. So black bolts are generally fully threaded. Okay? So you can remember that, and during the design also you can see. So this you can see the hole. This is your head. One is the head. One is the head. This is the washer. Why we are providing the washer for the grip, for good grip. Okay, because the force is transferred in shear with the grip. Then again, this is the member one. Like L1. This one is the member 2. Okay, then again you have to provide the washer. Okay, and then you have to tighten with the nut. Okay, and then you have to tighten with the nut. Okay, so tightening should be here. So these are the material of the voltage connection when you are going to the welded connection. And then welded connection we will see later on. And now we will come to the advantages of the welded. So advantages of voltage connection is we require less manpower because unskilled labor may also can do the bolting. No skill is required, just fit in the bolt and tighten. High strength bolts are much stronger than the rivet, hence bolted connection need less fastness than the rivet bolt. Okay, so strength of bolt is high strength bolt is much strength than the rivet. So that's why the number of bolt required or number of connections, number of bolts required will be less than the riveted connection. Huh? Bolting operation is much faster. It is much faster because unskilled labor can also do. Bolting operation is very silent because no need of requirement of hammering. Hammering यहाँ पर हमें नहीं चाहिए. Okay? Then bolting is a cold process, no risk of fire. है ना? जैसे वेल्डिंग में हम लोग तो फायर होने का खतरा इसमें यहाँ पर नहीं रहेगा. बोल्ट कैन बी रिमूव, रिप्लेस एंड रिटाइटन. बोल्ट अगर खराब हो गया है तो उसको निकाल के दूसरा लगा सकते हैं, है ना. लूज हो गए तो वापस से टाइट कर सकते हैं, है ना. एंड there is some advantage, disadvantage is also in bolted connection. Lesser strain in axial tension as the net area of the root of the thread is less because at the threaded portion the area will reduce. It is only 78% we are considering. Under the vibratory load, strain is reduced. There is cyclic loading है, fatigue है, so it may be the connection may be loose or its strain will be hampered. This is the disadvantage of the bolted connection. Unfinished bolt have lesser strain because of non-uniform diameter. So definitely it is a drawback of the unfinished bolt, or unfinished bolt is also called as common bolt or black bolt. So they are less, and also it is not look good as compared to the welding or riveting, you can say. So appearance also hampered due to the bolted connection. So this is some of these advantages. Then we come to the types of bolts. The types of bolts are differentiated according to the material and strength. Ordinary structural bolt, high strength steel bolts, as per the material and strength is considered. Then according to the type of shank, if shank is there, then it is called as high strength friction grip bolt. Shank portion is there. If there is no shank portion, then that is called as black bolt, unfinished bolt, or common bolt, or common bolt. Okay, and turned bolt. According to the pitch and fit and thread, there is standard bolt, fine pitch bolt, coarse pitch bolt, based on the thread. Then, according to the shape of head and nut, square bolt or hexagonal bolt, according the head of the. So mostly it is hexagonal bolt mostly available in the world. Now we will come to know the terminology in the bolted connection. Mr. Kakad, I have in you, but your attendance will not be contact. It's not a time of joining the lecture. Lecture is on the verge of completion. Okay? तो जो टाइम आपका शेड्यूल टाइम टेबल में दिया हुआ है उस टाइम में लेक्चर में ज्वाइन होना है, अदरवाइज आई विल नॉट टेक इन. and your attendance will not be counted. And the people they are joining and leaving the uh, uh, this classes, online classes, their attendance is monitored. कब join हो रहे हैं, कब निकल रहे हैं. Google will record all the things. So don't be smart. You are joining and then leaving. Don't do that. Okay? So here are different terminology we are using for the bolted connection. So if the the number of bolts you can see that this is the bolt. Okay, the bolts. The figure is visible to you, I think so. So please understand this terminology. Okay, the distance between the two consecutive bolts in the direction of stress. What is the direction of stress? You can see here the we are providing the load, tension here and tension here. Okay, so, so the stress will be also in this direction. So distance between two consecutive body board. If I take this bolt, bolt one and bolt two, bolt three. So distance between bolt 1 to bolt 2, if I will measure, this one is the pitch of bolt. So this is called as pitch of bolt. Also 2 to 3 you can see here pitch of bolt. Okay. So this distance is called as pitch of bolt. So what is the pitch distance? Pitch distance is the distance between the uh, consecutive bolt hole in the direction of stress. In the direction of stress or in the direction of load you can say. So generally in the direction of stress that terminology is good. Okay. Now you can see the another here at the end of the plate. This is the end of the plate, this one plate, and another end of the plate here shown is dotted line. So if I will say this is the plate one, so end of the plate one is here. So distance between the last bolt, so this is the first or last bolt, to the edge of the plate in the direction of stress. So this is the direction of stress. So that distance is called as end distance. What is called as end distance? Here, if you say, if you measure here, so this is the end of the plate, plate 2, and this is the bolt hole. The distance between that is nothing but your end distance, that is nothing but end distance. Okay. Similarly, so what we have seen now, first we have seen the of pitch, and second we have seen the end distance. Now we'll go for the a gauge distance. Gauge distance. So distance between two consecutive holes, center to center distance between two consecutive holes, okay, is called as gauge distance perpendicular to the direction of stress. So this is the direction of stress. So this distance is the perpendicular to the direction of stress. That's why this is called as gauge distance or gauge distance. Okay. So that's why what is the gauge distance? Gauge distance is the distance between the two consecutive bolts, center to center distance between the two consecutive bolts, perpendicular to the direction of distance. So this is definition for the gauge distance. And similarly for the edge distance is nothing but this distance, the bolt to hold last bolt to the end of the plate. But this distance is again the perpendicular to the direction of stress. So if it is parallel to direction of stress or in the direction of stress, then there is end distance at the end. And if it is perpendicular to the direction of stress, then it is called as edge distance. So these are the different terminologies in voltage connection. You have to remember this, and you can see here uh, definitions also. Pitch is the center to center distance between the adjacent rivet or bolt holes measured in the direction of stress. Minimum pitch is 2.5 times of D. Okay, so minimum pitch distance should not be taken less than 2.5 D, and maximum pitch is based on the different sorry, based on different connection. If this is tension member, then it's 16T or 200 mm, whichever is minimum, and 12T or 200 mm in compression, whichever is minimum. Distance between two adjacent boards, in general, if you say, could be 32T or 300 mm. Okay, so likewise, this is the pitch distance and minimum pitch and maximum pitch is defined. So when you are taking the pitch, you should check for the minimum and maximum pitch also. So all these clauses are given in your ISO in section 10, 10.2.2. So if you come here on page number 74, I think so. From here you can, if you come here in page number 74 or 75 of your IS 800 2007. So here you can see page number 73, we started this section 10 connections. Here all the things are given, you can see here clearance of the fastener of the hole. As per the size of the hole, you can see the minimum pitch distance between the two is 2.5 D. Is also written here. The distance between center of fastener shall not be less than 2.5 times the nominal diameter of the fastener. That is 2.5 D. Then how the clearance or holes slot with 12 to 12, 12 to 14 mm diameter fastener is there. Then you can take a clearance of 1 mm, यानी 13 और 15 mm आप होल्ड कर सकते हो. 16 से 22 mm डायमीटर का आपका बोल्ट है, तो आप 22 mm तक यानी 18 से 24 mm तक आपका आप ये होल का डायमीटर रख सकते हैं. बेस्ड ऑन द, अगर 16 mm है, 16 plus 2 is 18 mm का होल आपको करना पड़ेगा. So that is size of hole when as per the nominal diameter of fastener or the clearance. This is the clearance and this is the size. अगर 16 mm का 16 plus 2 तो 18 mm का होल करेगा. 20 mm का बोल्ट है तो 20 plus clearance 2 22 mm का होल. Okay, so diameter of hole will be different and diameter nominal diameter of bolt will be different. Okay, this can be. Now the maximum spacing of the pitch and minimum distance for the this compression member and tension member 16 times T, 12 T or 200 mm. We have seen here, similarly is written. Okay. Now what is the gauge distance? The gauge distance, I told you, it is the a row of board which is parallel to the direction of stress is called as gauge line. Parallel to the direction of stress is called as gauge line. The normal distance between two adjacent gauge line is called as gauge distance. So here you can see that this is the gauge line which is parallel to the figure. This is the gauge line. You can say this is the gauge line. Gauge line. This is the gauge line 2. So distance between these two lines is called as gauge distance. That is the definition given here. Okay. So what is the gauge distance? Distance between the two. Or you can say the distance between the two consecutive bolt holes in the perpendicular to the direction of this space. Okay. The normal distance between two adjacent board lines is called as gauge distance, and gauge distance should not be greater than 100 plus 40 or 200 mm, which is given in your still your eyes. So here you can see the distance between the center of any two consecutive clusters in line adjacent and parallel to the edge of an outside plate shall not exceed 100 mm plus 40 or 200. So that is we are written here in the mathematical form. Okay, so no issue in that. Edge distance, the distance between the edge of the member to the cover plate from the center of the nearest pole hook. That is also we have seen. And the minimum edge distance is based on the type of cutting you are doing for the holes. If your hole is machine flame cut, if machine flame cut, then the edge distance will be uh, 1.5 times of that hole diameter. Okay. If machine flame cut is there, if machine flame cut, okay, and if it is hand driven cut, then 1.7 times of two type for the hand driven. So here you can see hand flame cut or hand driven cut. Okay, so 1.7 times of D0 because D0 is nothing but diameter of hole. D0 is nothing but the diameter of the hole. Okay, and the maximum edge distance should be less than 12 times of TE, where E is the under root of 250 upon FY. Just second discuss there. Root the power 1 by 2 is nothing but, so E is nothing but plot is nothing but under root of 250 upon. Okay, so you can find out this value based on your FY. Now already we have seen this bolt hole in this clause. Here this table is there, table number 90, clearance for the passing. That is given here. And based on the diameter of your bolt, you can take the clearance and you can find out the diameter of bolt hole. Okay, bolt diameter plus clearance, it gives you the diameter. Now, tacking bolt, when a distance between the center of two consecutive bolts in such cases exceeds the maximum distance. What is the tacking bolt? There is a limit, in the tension member, in the compression member, your bolt should not be a part of more than 200. So if you are providing one bolt here and one bolt here, and the distance between two bolts are more than 300 and more than 200, so you have to provide additional bolt here, and this bolt is called as tacking bolt. So this additional bolt is called as tacking bolt. Because this is not matching with the clause, because 200 mm is the maximum limit for tension and compression limit. तो इससे ज़्यादा दूर आपका सेंटर टू सेंटर डिस्टेंस अगर बोल्ट बोलता है तो यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड एडिशनल बोल्ट that will not consider that is taking into the load, but it should be provided to avoid the exceed the maximum pitch. Additional bolt, these bolts are not considered temporary races, and that's why they are called as stitch bolt or the tacking bolt. So tacking bolt is also called as stitch bolt. Okay. Now the types of bolts you can see and go through. There are black common type, fully threaded. Unfinished bolts are also called as black common. They are also called as rough. They are also called as fully threaded. It is used for the light structure. So unfinished bolt is used for the light structure. If static loading is there, then we are using for unfinished board. The diameter is from M5 to M6. Generally, commonly use the 16 mm, 12 mm, 24 mm, 30 mm diameter. Net area can be calculated by the 0.78 times of the plane area of the board, or you can say the 78% of plane area would be considered in case of the unfinished board. Against to this, if you see the high strength friction report, it made for bars of medium carbon heat treated steel. The make is given. Generally, it is range from 16 to 36 cm diameter, and strength are three times of unfinished board. The strength of this board is very large, and this is very important. Huh? It is also called as friction board because the load is transferred through the friction in this case. Okay, stress transfers to the friction on the stress, and the true stress is the zero point 0.7 times of the ultimate stress of this force. So this is the difference between the unfinished board and the high strength board you can make. And the large tensile stress are developed in the board, and there is large clamping force for the elements connected. Due to high strain number of the board required are reduced. The tension in the board is uniform as they prevent using of nuts. Alteration and addition can be done easily in case of. So these are the sum of the board. Their grade is given here, and based on grade, the yield strength and ultimate strength will be given. Now, how to find out the yield strength and ultimate strength of board? Uh, Based on the grade, we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you for joining. You have another class. We will stop here. Thank you for listening patiently, and thank you. We will stop the recording and you can leave.